Are we crazy for opening up a new fly shop? Maybe so, but you'll never guess where we're gonna open it. Well, maybe you will.
That's a big brown.
In case you haven't heard yet, we recently opened our newest location, which is in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Jimmy's All Seasons Angler, which is the name of the shop that we acquired. We were contacted by Jimmy and started to discuss the possibilities of doing that. The first thing that we knew, number one, Jimmy is and has been always a fly tying shop. His shop has been iconic, a really good selection of fly tying materials and good knowledge. Those that know Jimmy, he's one of the nicest guys on the planet.
Hey guys, we're going to be talking for just 1 second, so shut the freak up. Okay? No.
I know.
Oh, you got to have some shock factor.
Yes, I know.
Okay, we're in Jimmy's fly shop with Jimmy. How has retirement treated you for the last 2 days?
I've been working 9-10 hours a day.
We took over June 1st. It was awesome. Everybody was coming in to chat with you. That was super cool to see everybody come in and congratulate you. There was an awesome newspaper article.
Yeah, pretty
So
cool.
how many total years in the industry?
44.
44?
Started the 45th year in March.
So
I finished 44.
You started in the industry when I was 2. So what was the coolest part of your day-to-day job here? What was the thing that really was awesome?
Just being able to kind of put up displays and create a fun-looking shop with a lot of fun stuff, and then talking with people about fishing because they came in because fishing's fun and it was a release for them and just a good atmosphere.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's what we saw with you. Like everybody that came in to congratulate you or say hi, you know. And online we were like, okay, you can't change the shop. Like it's awesome. It's like, okay, well, we might change it just a little bit. But that's the common theme is, you know, Jimmy, he might not know you, but he'll get you set up with the right flies. He'll tell you a place where you can go catch a fish. And that's the story that we got. You know, it's a customer thing.
And I really like some of the changes you're going to make down here. It's going to be a heavily inventoried shop, which, you know, they come into your shop, they came into this shop, and they go, look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And in an industry where you're not seeing that as much.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, for me, like when I first started coming here was when you invited me to come do a demo. And we always, when we were coming up, we were like, if we could just have a shop like Jimmy's, but in Utah. So it was a huge inspiration for us for what we're doing as well. So
that was clear back in 2009 when you first tied that
2009. And you had me back twice because I got big and fat and I looked like a different guy,
and
right?
And better.
Yeah. So what's a funny story that you can tell us about the shop?
There's just so many of them.
Yeah.
But to kind of reflect how many years that I've been here, we were doing inventory in the back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And we're back there counting flies, and I'm there with a couple of the young guys in the shop. So I stick a VHS tape from 1980 of me tying flies, and they keep looking up at it, and they look down, they look up, and finally one of them goes, "Jimmy, is that you?" And I go, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, were you wearing a wig?"
Yeah. So on the newspaper article, there was a picture of Jimmy, and he's got the crazy hair going everywhere, and you would have fit right in with the kids nowadays. We're just super thankful to be able to come in and hopefully carry on the legacy. And
it's going to be a perfect dovetail of two shops and a really strong shop.
Absolutely, yeah, we're excited, and Jimmy will still be in the shop. He's got a key, so if he says he can't come to the shop, that's a lie.
Okay.
All right, we're excited.
You bet. Thank you.
Excited for you to go fish.
Yeah, I am too.
We're going to continue that legacy and offer people even more when it comes to fly tying. The nice thing about this location too is that there's such a good base of fly tyers in that area in Idaho Falls and in the surrounding areas. We wanted to build on that because it's such a great mix of people who are rabid about fly tying as we are. From a cultural standpoint, kind of a focus standpoint, that made a lot of sense. For us, Idaho Falls was the perfect location. It is literally the beginning of the famed golden triangle of trout. It's a relatively unknown term. We're going to use it more often because we think that is probably the bottom of like the best conglomeration of trout water in the world. That combined with our desire to want to grow our company a little bit more and to get into an area where we thought there was even more opportunity for trout and kind of spreading our wings in terms of different flies to tie and hatches to chase. So it made all sorts of sense. Probably the biggest question, at least for me, when we started to do this is how do we do this? Part of that was taking the product mix that Jimmy's had, looking at the product mix that we have, and then kind of mesh those and figure out where the overlaps were, figure out things that they sell that we didn't and vice versa, and start to kind of mesh these two product mixes and inventories together. We've got a retail store here in Orem, Utah, and we have right next door to our big store a warehouse where we ship all the stuff that goes online. So if you buy stuff from us online, also know that there is a giant retail store down below us here in our studio that houses more fly tying materials in a retail space than anywhere else in the world that we're aware of. Suffice it to say that there was a lot of behind the scenes work that we had to do to kind of determine what the good or the best mix of products would be. By virtue of that process, we Fish Hoot ended up adding probably 10,000 more SKUs or 10,000 more items and variations of items in different colors and sizes and styles. So after we got all done with this meshing of the inventory, especially fly tying, we realized here we have about 5 times more individual products than they did there. Cheech was in charge of looking at the shop and kind of giving it more our look aesthetically, as well as the product mix and how everything hangs on the walls, and making it standard to what our shop here in Orem has been built up to be over the last 6-7 years. Beyond that, we also set out to create a whole new style of fly display. If you've ever fished up in that area, you know that probably every imaginable hatch known to man is going to happen somewhere in that region, from either the Henry's Fork or the South Fork of the Snake on up into Yellowstone Park and further up into Montana, or even further west into Idaho or east into Wyoming. If you take all that golden triangle of trout, you are going to find some crazy cool hatches. And so with the flies, we wanted to be able to make all of that available to people that are coming into the area. And if you've been in our Orem store, you know how serious we are about flies. The Jimmy's fly selection is going to be even bigger than our Orem store, and probably again 4 to 5 times more than what Jimmy's currently had at that point.
All right, so we wanted to have a very unique fly display. We're going to have so many flies in the shop because it's Yellowstone centric. So we needed to increase even the amount of flies we had in Utah. So Terry, the genius behind these, Terry and I had a brainstorming sesh, a few of them, and then he just ran with it. So we're going to be able to have modular fly boxes. We'll be able to change, organize all that stuff really easily. Everything's super well lit. I think we'll have enough space for over 2,000 different flies. That's awesome.
So the fly selection to us was a big thing. As Cheech says, if you want to buy the flies, you can also buy them disassembled by virtue of all the other materials that we have to tie your own flies. So if you are a Jimmy's customer or you've gone in there before, what you will see is 4 to 5 times the number of actual fly tying products in the store.
Listen, custom fly displays, custom lighting, displaying flies, grid wall in the back, and we're working hard. It's a lot to do. So let's give you a little tour. Welcome to the new Jimmy's. We have replaced a lot of the old fixtures. We have grid wall here, and we're still kind of running with a lot of temporary stuff. Front desk is the next thing to get repaired or redone. We're putting fly lines up. This is our reel display that's coming. And since we're looking here, let's check out these rods. So I think we have 120 total rods in our little rod passageway. And then we're just getting our typical grid wall style gondolas up. We have a brand new thread display that we're getting put together. As you can see, we're filling the walls full of all the stuff that we have in Utah. Back here, we're getting ready to put some dry fly hackle. There you have it. Said the word. Chenille wall is going to look pretty awesome. and then chenille wall just kind of turns into hooks. And from here all the way to the end of the door are all hooks. Hooks and beads are here. We have all the fancy vices with more and more to come. We have Hunter. Okay, that's enough of him. Nets and flies. It's called a fly shop, right? So we are doing 4,500 different patterns for your fishing pleasure. Everything from saltwater to midges.
In addition to the physical layout of the store and all the things that we're doing with the products, we found what we think are some of the best people in Idaho Falls. These are local people steeped in the fly fishing industry. Our shop manager is Madison Losey, formerly of Hyde Drift Boats. Madison is one of the Hyde family, but she defected over to us. No offense to Hyde, but she's a great asset to us. AJ Jorgensen, who you may have known if you fished on the South Fork. He's been a guide there, leaving the guide life to come help us there in the shop. For us and our fly fish food culture, probably the biggest things are the people. Like, you can't offer good customer service or help people learn to tie flies or know which rods to buy if you don't have the people that can treat customers with respect and be helpful and give the customer the best experience they can when they come into our shop. So that was key. Probably above everything else, you got to have the right people in place or the products will not matter. The final piece to all of this was to flip the switch. As of May 31st, we had gone through and we had counted all the inventory, made sure everything was updated in our system. And then as of June 1st, we put our systems in there and we were transacting. So that was phase one. We've got a lot of other things planned. We're going to redo the front counter where you check out. We're going to be building a new reel display, new line display. It's going to be called Fly Fish Food Jimmy's, still going to retain the Jimmy's name. If you want your Jimmy shirts, we will continue to make your Jimmy's, your JASA. Have you seen the JASA shirt? If you hadn't, check it out on our website. A cool NASA variation of shirt. We're going to keep all that stuff and we're going to build on it. So this will just be Jimmy's on steroids. We are looking forward to serving the people in that area. And if you are ever in the area of Idaho Falls, Henry's Fork, South Fork, the Madison River up in Montana, anything in Yellowstone Park, Henry's Lake, stop on by. We are going to offer you the biggest selection possible with all the flies, fly tying materials, rods, reels, waders, boots, and apparel. Then you'll know what to do with. We've built this and curated this product mix over years, and we are super stoked to be offering it now in Idaho Falls. This process has been amazing. It's been a lot of work, but we're super happy with the way it turned out. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to. Let us know what you might want or what you look forward to, and please come and visit.
Curtis brought his own desk from home.
Does the red mean it's recording break?
Yeah. Dude, see, that's the thing is,
This is the nerve center.
guys, he's been doing the computer stuff for so long that he's kind of forgotten how the stuff works. Anyway, good job.
This is where it all happens right here. For 4 days straight.
He's in the women's clothing section.
I'm in the women's clothing section. Man, now I feel bad. But it's a good section. We do have a good women's selection here.
We
for
do.
anybody who's coming around. Madison will even make
we
it
thought
better.
that this would be a good way to get all the women to come over to this section just by sticking
I just
him,
set
right?
up shop, you know. I got my Howler shirt on.
So-
It's the happening place. But yeah, this is like the culmination of the data. We're about done. Got a few more things to do, but about 4 months in the process of jacking data into the system. Cheech's favorite topic.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway, we're here. This is awesome. We're
yeah,
rolling.
it's
Like
real.
we're live.
It's real. It's freaking real. What? Bring them. We're done.